Hey Tim, this is Todd, and the support team at Bar Smart. I got to tell you, your case is way outside the box for what we would typically do. Not in terms of helping, but it's just the software wasn't really designed for random. It sounds like an owner financing type scenario, but I'm going to try to show you how I would approach it. There's still, a lot of problems with case design is not knowing what you don't know. I mean, we don't have your tax brackets, we don't have income, we don't have property values and stuff. But I did my best just to go in and put in a mortgage, 10%, $120,000, $2,500 a month. I did that here on the main page, and you can log in and see this. We're showing or the software, and again, this is one of the problems with these types of scenarios. There's too many questions, but we're showing there's 62 payments. You're saying there's 53. I don't know what the discrepancy is there, but the only way that I can even think to simulate your scenario is to do it like a reverse mortgage, where you're going to be charged interest, but instead of making but in a reverse mortgage, all payments are discretionary. They're up to you to make them. So I said, what if you had a mortgage of $120,000 today as a balance, and you had an interest rate of 10%, let's say. Let's take a look at that. So I owe 120. My interest rate is 10%. It's a reverse. So in a reverse, all the balance does is go up unless you make some payments on it, and that's really what I want to compare. So if I keep this current mortgage and I look at this current mortgage you have today, let's just go out over 5 years. Paying the minimum payment of $2,500, I can see I've paid $33,844 in interest, $116,156 in principal. So I've spent $150,000 over the next 5 years. There's no house value because we don't know what that is. But my mortgage balance is down to $38.44. So in other words, after 60 months, we're showing this thing's pretty much paid off, right? Over here, I'm going to pay, and I assumed reverse, so there's no payments. And I came in manually and said we're going to pay $30,000 at one time at the start of month 1, $30,000 in year 2. So in other words, you're going to pay $30,000 right now for the year, $30,000 again in a year, $30,000 again in a year, $30,000 again in a year. So you're paying $120,000 in 4 installments over 4 years. So your principal is going to be $120,000. Okay, so you've paid $120,000, and that's all you've paid. Over here, you've actually paid $2,500 a month over 5 years. And I just wanted to kind of see what would that look like. Here you owe $38.44. Here you owe $27,754. So I'm a ways out there. So then I'm going to come up here again. I'm going to click Add a New Payment. and put in $30,000 one-time payment. We'll say this is at month 59, which would be 1 year out, and I'll click Save. All right. So now I've spent $150,000. Right, I've paid the exact same amount out over 5 years, and my mortgage balance is $38.44. Here it's at 0, and I actually have an extra $24.75 left over. So in the scenario you're proposing, I get that the client would save $6,319 in total interest if they made a full $30,000 payment at the beginning of each year, and they'd pay the house off in about 3 months sooner. So that's about the best I can estimate with our software. It'll do the analytics. It's just I'm having to sort of jerry-rig because it's such an unusual situation. Normally I'd build a spreadsheet for that, but I don't have time to do that, and I don't think you do or want to. But I think this is pretty close in terms of an estimate of what you'd be saving the client. I think if you went through and did this with a calculator manually and looked at the payment difference, it also makes sense to me, kind of mentally, because if I pay $30,000 up front for the year, what am I really doing? I'm saving interest on the principal balance for $30,000 for 12 months, minus what I would have paid. And in the other scenario, I'm paying $2,500, $2,500, $2,500, $2,500. So that means in the first month I pay $2,500, the second month I pay $2,500. Now I'm paying interest on $5,000 less. I tried to kind of do a couple of quick calculations. It's going to save about $1,200, $1,300 in interest per year. Times 5 years is about $6,000. So I think this is a pretty accurate estimate of what your client would save going with the strategy that you're presenting. So I hope that helps out. Thanks, man.